Welcome everyone to District 5080 Virtual Fundraising Workshop. I'm Linda Bauer, District Governor nominee, and I'm from Richland Rotary. With me today is Bev Reed, who's past District Governor, and she's from Spokane, Aurora Northwest. Hi, Bev.
Hi, Linda. It is so glad to be here with you today.
And we're so glad everyone has joined us. I'm going to ask you to please, though, mute and stop video and go to speaker view, which is up on the top right corner of your screen. You know, with all the uncertainty with COVID-19, it's more important than ever for us to be creative with the ways our clubs not only survive, but also thrive. And that also goes for how we're able to serve our communities, both locally and globally.
You know, Linda, I agree with you so much. And because of that, we've also developed this very short little workshop on how to be successful with virtual fundraising. Now, by no means do we have all the answers or that magic pill, but we do have many ideas to give you some food for thought. So let's get started. The training is called Welcome to Raising Funds in a Pandemic World. And there's 3 topic areas that we want to discuss. The first being the why of fundraising during COVID-19. Also, examples of fundraising. And third is zone resources for virtual fundraising. So we really want to get started with why we're doing this. So let's go to the next slide, please. For the next few minutes, I want us to start off with a clean slate. I want us to take a little time to reflect on the why. Because it is very important for us to walk through why you're doing a particular fundraiser. Is it for a specific need in your community? Okay, well that's good. But is the need still there? How often do we continue to do the same fundraiser for the same need when we are not sure if the need should continue to be our primary focus? We sure know that in the life of COVID, that nothing is a way that we've always done it. And this is especially important when we identify the why. Maybe the why looks different and there are new needs that should be addressed. And this is a key element when you're setting up your fundraiser. So, is the need still relevant? Maybe the organization that you're helping has different needs that are more critical at this time. And maybe your community has different needs now. So what do? You ask them. Yes, we sit down with the organization and we walk through their situation now. And how can your Rotary Club better serve your recipient organization? Okay, you've done that. We've got it. Now we're on the same page with our organization that we're wanting to help. So what's next? Yes, the messaging. It's important that we develop the message so everyone in your club can articulate how your fundraiser will be able to meet that need. Everyone needs to communicate from the same playbook. Here's an example. You're reaching out to an elementary school that you serve and you're asking what needs that they have, and since they're going to virtual this year, they really need to purchase a lot of tablets for their students, as well as their packaging that they need for their homework assignments is going to be significantly more, and the school is struggling. So your club says, what a great idea, we want to help do that. So we set up a virtual fundraising auction. And the money that we get from the large items of the auction will go to purchase the tablets. And then a donor can select $20, $50, $100 donation button, and those particular dollars are then spent for the supplies that are needing. So great idea, yeah, and it's not that big of a deal, and yet it's doing what we need to do. So again, as you can see, the Rotary Club is working with the school, finding out what the need is, developing the fundraiser, and identifying and being successful with the outcome for what that particular school wants to do. The thing is, people want to see results. People want to give to something that they believe in. And people want to invest in a need that is important to them. So what is the reason and the importance of the communication with the why? It is so important that we communicate the why so those participating in the fundraiser will have the buy-in to give. The example shows a very clear why the need is so important and who wouldn't want to help that elementary school to be successful meeting the needs of the students and their families. And you know what's so exciting about having a virtual fundraiser is that you can throw a wider net because we're not meeting in person, and so we can throw that net to invite a very much larger audience. So make sure your public relations committee really works to finding ways to get that message out. And as the example of a school fundraiser, I would bet there'd be businesses that be willing to also provide supplies or cash donations for some great advertising. Again, be open to new ideas. Okay, so we've spent the necessary time to ensure the energy of putting on a fundraiser is going to have the right impact and results that we need. And yes, we've also developed a great marketing plan to ensure we're all sharing the same message and the impact is going to have on that recipient organization. Oh, and you know, a few emotional stories never hurt. So what's next? You're right, let's look at our fundraisers now. But can we do the fundraiser the way that we've always done it? Or can we? Linda, take it away.
Thanks for building that foundation, Bev. Before we get into the types of fundraisers you might want to think about, I want to suggest that you look at what you're doing now and perhaps just adapt. So, Coeur d'Alene Sunrise sells spring flower baskets. So this year, instead of going to club visits, they did it all by email. They got all their orders on email. And then they simply added masks, gloves, social distancing, and delivered their spring flowers. On the West Side District 5020, which is Silverdale Rotary, had their duck race migrate from the big water to a members pool. He sent the ducks down the slide and then dove in and grabbed the winner. How fun is that? So now let's look at a few different types of fundraisers that you might think of. First, our platform events, and these are virtual auctions. The second one we'll talk about is a fund a cause event, things like social media asks. And the third are activity-based events like golf tournaments. So if you're going to auction online, just migrate online, let's think about getting a very catchy theme that resonates with your members and your surrounding community. Make it fun. Do you need a hoedown or a top hat gala? Then you're going to pick a software platform, and I recommend doing this after some research because there are several out there. There's things like Greater Giving, One Cause, Give Smart. I would talk to some of the other nonprofits in your community and find out what they used and how it worked for them because they're all slightly different. I would practice so you don't have hiccups. Hit everyone's social media, put placards in your local businesses, run ads on public TV, look for sponsors like you would do in a normal live auction and give them a shout out at every turn. One of our local charities does a monthly online auction. So every month I get an email with maybe a dozen items, most involve food and wine. And you know, it sure keeps that particular charity on my mind all year long. Our Tri-City Sunrise did a fun event called Treat and Treasure Market. They sold off warehouse items from a wonderful member who owned a construction company and who died tragically and unexpectedly. Their tag was, "Come at sunrise to meet the best Rotary group in the Tri-Cities and pick up a treat and treasure." And all their proceeds are going to go to their local service projects. They sold things on Facebook for a week, and then they had a one-day warehouse sale and was quite successful. Cranbrook Rotary is going to migrate their Heart of the Community Gala to a live and silent auction online in February. Their folks are going to bid from home. The local restaurants and wineries donated a lot of meals and wine. The club members are going to deliver those in insulated bags. They got a local company to donate tech support. I expect that gala to be a whole lot of fun and a great success. Crowdfunding is getting quite popular. You can set up a GoFundMe or a similar account and plaster it all over social media for a cause or a birthday or whatever the need is. You can have your club do a birthday challenge and ask each member to set up this sort of donation account. Do you know you can put a Donate Now button right on your Club Runner page? You might want to check that out. Amazon will also set up a wish list for a local charity. They give Amazon the list of everything they might need. It might be kids' books, it might be hygiene supplies, and you can go on Amazon, buy what's needed, and it's shipped directly to that nonprofit. Some clubs are starting to do meeting sponsors for their Zoom meetings. So you run an advertisement for a local business and they pay you a bit to do that. Probably the easiest is a simple non-event. So if you've been doing something and you can't do it anymore, just ask those typical donors to give what they would have given. In the Tri-Cities, we have a multi-club duck race that raises a huge amount of money. So we're just going to the people that always bought lots of books of tickets and asking them, please consider donating. Those funds will go directly back into the community. So, you know, I decided to try GoFundMe myself. And so surprising how quick it is. It's like less than 5 minutes. And I just set up a little GoFundMe campaign for my 73rd birthday. You know, you set your dollar amount, you write up your cause and click, 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 you're done. Easy peasy. So let's talk about some activity-based events now. A virtual race. You know, you can swim, skate, skip, stroller, push, bike, hike, walk, run, row, rollerblade, or otherwise move without a motor, and you just do it on your own. You can design your own challenges for this race. The participants can go get sponsors just like they would do in a big marathon, but they use their own tracker app and they walk or run anytime they choose rather than everyone coming together to do it. RI Convention did this year, and Bev was a part of that.
Yes, I was.
Yes, you were. Another fun thing are poker runs. And these, you hop in your car, you go to 5 stops, you get a playing card at each stop, and the best poker hand wins. So what if at the end of the race you had a bunch of food trucks come and everybody got a meal, and if they can't eat around the picnic tables, they eat in their car and wave and smile at each other. There's another option to a poker run, and that's a poker chip run. It keeps the suspense going until the very end of the race. So if you're interested in that, just Google it or do your internet search. Virtual golf tournaments are getting to be the rage. And there's software. There's things like Perfect Golf, which helps you set up registration and rules. So you pick a date range, you work with your local club to give special rates to participants, you get sponsors and do games and raffles like you would always do, but the players book their own tee time and go out during that date range. And then at the end, you do a big Zoom party and reveal the results and draw the raffle ticket. All you need to do is do a little searching. There are a plethora of ideas. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I spent about an hour and came up with 31 events for our local fundraising committee to look at. It's out there, but there is frosting on the cake. Zone 2627 has a virtual library, and this is the URL you'll want to write down. And when you get to that virtual library, if you just click on virtual fundraising resources, you will find dozens of ideas that have been collected. And some of those have contacts, so you can talk to someone who's actually done the event. Check out the virtual library. It's going to be updated as ideas flow in. So if you're doing something or have a thought, please share it with me. I administer this library and I can go in there and add your clever ideas to our virtual fundraising library. So Bev, I'm going to toss this right back to you.
Thanks, Linda. Wow, what great ideas. You shared so many useful ways for clubs to up their game in their fundraising. Okay, now maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but there are a couple of other things I want us to highlight. You maybe have already attended the training on creating your winning strategy and the importance of your 3 club committees to work together to be successful. And those 3 committees are your public image committee, your foundation committee, and your membership committee. So creating that winning strategy encompasses all 3 of those. But for this particular situation, we're going to reference the other F. Rather than foundation, we're going to talk about fundraising. So when we're looking at all of that, it's again very important when you're getting together, putting your fundraiser together, that your public image, your fundraising committee, and your membership committee work closely together. So let me share a worksheet that will be very helpful for your club and your committees to work through. So here's a planning tool. It consists of the description of the concept of the project. So of course, we're talking about fundraising, so that's what you'd be putting on, what that virtual fundraiser is. How are you going to include a membership focus, a brand focus, and also the fundraising focus? So many times we just spend all of our effort in identifying the fundraising, but we forget to put the emphasis on potential membership and brand. For all clubs, it is so important that anytime we have an opportunity, we need to share the message of what Rotary does. And so the fundraising, meets a very important need. You're sharing the Rotary story. You're helping in meeting the needs of the community. But you know something, my dear friends, we do not do a very good job sharing the story sometimes. So please, every time you have an opportunity to share the great work of Rotary, please do so. And what a great opportunity for non-Rotarians to be involved in our virtual event. And make sure at the fundraiser that you talk about your club and a little bit about all the great things you do. And invite them to join you on your next virtual club meeting. Those potential Rotarians are not going to come if you don't ask them, and especially if it's a virtual meeting. Okay, is the brand properly done? Yes, branding police may be watching you. Well, actually, I'm kidding aside a little bit, but it is important that we're consistent with the brand, and there are district folks that can help you if you need that assistance. And with the branding is also the message of the fundraiser, the message of Rotary. Make sure everyone knows what you are doing. And again, any event like a fundraiser, it's not the responsibility of just the fundraising committee, but it's the responsibility of all 3 of those committees, as well as your whole club is involved. So with that, I hope that you got a few good tips to be looking at. And it's been fun that you have been on our recorded message. So if this is a live event that we're going to be having, we're going to shut down our project right here, and we're going to open it up to chat and ask if any questions that you have. So we're happy to answer any of those. And if you're just recording this, and maybe it's your fundraising committee that is looking at this, and if you have some questions, please feel free and just contact Linda and I, because we'd be happy to help you. So with that, Linda, let's say have a great day. Take care.